Welcome to Aussie Rules Coffee with RC Barista. RC Barista, or like RC as in bum or buttocks, or like nasty, something like that. No, mate. RC as in my name, Ryan Christopher Barista. Look, it's there in English, it's right in front of you. RC Barista. Look, it's there, don't you get it? Just cut to the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening. Please welcome to the ring your champion from Sydney, Australia, by way of the Coffee House, Weston-super-Mare, England. He has the perfect coffee record. He has roasted more than 92 tons of Arabica beans. He has pulled more than 47,000 espresso shots. He has made more than 97,000 flat whites, weighing in at 144 pounds 3 ounces. He is the two-time foul-mouthed barista of Sydney. He is the reigning sexy bitch of Australian coffee. Welcome, please, your champion, Ryan Christopher, RC Barista. For the 2 people watching in this room and the 3 other people watching around the world on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to roll.
I am RC Barista.
I am Spartacus.
Sydney's sexy god of coffee right here in England, Weston-super-Mare, the Coffee House, 96 High Street. Now, I know Weston-super-Mare ain't the coolest place on earth. There's a lot of old people. There's a lot of, how can I put this nicely, fat people. There's a lot of people on mobility scooters, and there's a hell of a lot of weirdos on drugs or trying to get off drugs. But I love the place, and we're going to make the coffee here rock. Now, coffee is the sexiest thing on the planet. And the whole reason why I'm here on the old YouTube LoopTube is to put an end to boring coffee demonstrations like this.
Hi there, my name's Dwayne and I'm head barista at Knob Jockey Coffee, which is based in the Fucknuts district of Portland, Oregon. And for the next 2.5 hours, I'm going to be talking to you about my favorite subject in coffee, espresso.
Boring! Sorry, Dwayne, old son. Time to say bye-bye. Anyway. As well as being the sexy god of Australian coffee, I'm a really giving, generous kind of guy. Just last week, the wife says to me she's always wanted a pet, but not the usual kind of thing like a dog or a cat or a gerbil. So a couple of days later, I'd given her thrush. That's just the kind of guy that I am. But I'm also here to give you people out there the secrets of Australian coffee, the true secrets. Now, you don't need a squillion-pound Probat roaster, and you don't need an all-singing, all-dancing grinder, and you certainly don't need one of those 20,000-pound La Marzocco espresso machines with a name like the Dry Ruder or the Mutilator or the Agent Orange, okay? The kind of thing that gives all those coffee geeks a bit of a boner when they're standing there looking at it. What you need is happy, green coffee. Now, if your green coffee ain't happy, the end product is going to suck. So here, for the first time ever, is RC Barista's guide to making your green feel supreme.
Aussie rule number 1, M. Scott Pack.
Now, the first golden rule to making great Aussie-style coffee is your green beans have to be happy. And I'm not talking like superficial happy either. The kind of happy that comes from too many Jaeger bombs or too many Domino's pizzas, or maybe a shag at the Christmas party, or maybe even meeting that girl off slags.com and getting her into the back of your transit using some gaffer tape and a taser. I'm talking about deep down happiness. And deep down happiness only comes from one man, M. Scott Peck, and this amazing book. And the first message in this book from M. Scott Peck is actually that life is hard. It's tough. It really is. And all my green beans understand this. Now, however tough your life is, it doesn't get much tougher than life for a little green bean. They're picked, they're bagged, they're shipped. When they're here, some bugger pours them into a roaster and burns their arse off. Now, that's not a nice way to go. But thanks to this book, and because my beans know that life is hard, they transcend that. And they know that they have a beautiful end to their life, that they're going to create something extremely special. Today, Sal Silvestre is getting its first lesson in deep down profound happiness, M. Scott Peck style. You ready, Sal? Here we go. Life is difficult. This is a great truth, one of the greatest truths. It is a great truth because once we truly see this truth, we transcend it. Once we truly know that life is difficult, once we truly understand and accept it, then life is no longer difficult. Because once it is accepted, the fact that life is difficult no longer matters.
Rule number 2, encourage.
The second golden rule to making great Aussie coffee is encouragement. I mean, we all need a bit of encouragement in every part of life, don't we? Come on, come on, come on. Come on, kid. Don't go quit on me now. This is your chance to be something amazing, something special, something incredible, to be the best. You don't want to be like one of those bum beans they use at Costa, or one of those low-down beans they use at Cafe Nero. This is your chance to be the greatest, to be the best. This is your chance to be an RC Barista bean, to be a great cup of coffee. Now spit in the bucket and get in the goddamn roaster.
Rule number 3, jazz.
Now, people often ask me, they say, RC, how come your coffee tastes so amazing, such amazing flavours, wild flavours? And that's because of Aussie coffee rule number 3, jazz. 12 hours a day, my coffee is listening to the gods of jazz. We're talking Miles Davis, Art Pepper, John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, Chet Baker, and this boy in the background, Lee Morgan, tomcatting around. They listen to this stuff and they love it. Now, I know most of the legends of jazz were off their Melanon horse all the time, but that's not what it's about for the green coffee. They're just picking up the spirit of what jazz is about. So that when they go in the roaster and the heat is turned up, they perform, baby. They cut loose. They show all their colours, their vibrancy, their beauty. They're free-forming. They're just absolutely going creative, letting loose. And when the beans come out and the espresso is made, you can taste it. All those green fellas express themselves and it's turned into amazing, amazing, beautiful espresso. And that's all down to the jazz. Now, we have done extensive tests in this roastery to see which jazz god actually helps which coffee perform best. Okay, there you go, folks. You can see the coffee now. They've all got their headphones on. They're all enjoying their jazz, soaking it up, getting mellow, enjoying themselves, relaxing before they go in the roaster. We've got Lee Morgan and Tom Cad going on in the background in the roastery. And let's see which performer goes best with which coffee. Now, the decaf, which has had all the stimulation taken out, the caffeine removed, amazingly, the best performer for the decaf is Art Pepper. And you could never have met a more stimulated jazzman than Pepper, who spent as much time in prison for taking horse as he did on the bandstand. But we go over next. The Colombian loves John Coltrane. And during his life, John Coltrane loved Colombian. So those two are perfectly matched. Explains why they love each other. Going on to the Rwandan now. A more mellow coffee and a kind of blue by Miles Davis. That's exactly what it loves to get the best out of it. We move on to the El Salvador, honey processed. And El Salvador coffee goes beautifully with Chet Baker. The clean lines of Chet, another major horse addict. But they love each other. Great flavours coming out there. And last but not least, São Silvestre, Brazil, and we got Charlie Parker with strings. There it is, folks. That's what the São Silvestre is up to. Charlie Parker helps bring out the nuances and the subtleties in that coffee and helps make it great. Jazz. It's why RC's coffee tastes so great. Now, in contrast, have you ever wondered why Costa tastes like something that fell out of the arse end of a koala? I'll tell you why. It's because in their roastery, for 12 hours a day, they're subjecting their green beans to the #1 Canadian bollock brain, Michael Bublé. Now, the effect that guy has on those beans is quite terrible. Now, some cohorts of mine have managed to sneak some green beans out of the Costa roastery, and if we listen very closely, we can actually hear how traumatised, scared and frightened these poor little green beans are now that they've been listening to the bubble for more than 24 hours. It's just too much. I can't take it. It's horrible. And here aren't much better. They're listening to Gary Glitter all day long. Do you want to be in my gang? Of course they don't. They don't want to be in anybody's gang. It's just not right.
Rule number 4 is love. You can also buy a big issue as well.
So there you go. The last rule on the Aussie coffee list is love. We all need it. Humans need it, and green beans are no different. And as you'll see from these clips, my green beans are with me 24 hours a day, so I can love them all the time.
And they called it puppy love. Oh, I guess they'll never know how a young heart.
So there you go, folks. Love is the answer. If you want great coffee, love is what you need. So tonight, I'll be going home with my bag of São Silvestre. We'll head off, have a bite to eat, maybe a glass of wine. Then we'll go to bed, and I'll read him Famous 5 or Secret 7, because he really likes that. And then we'll snuggle down and go to sleep. And there's nothing dubious going on here, nothing strange, nothing untoward, no echoes of Jimmy Savile, nothing like that. No, it's just affection. That's all it's about. Actually, it takes me back to my days at Roman Catholic boarding school, the Malcolm Inghard Roman Catholic boarding school for boys. I had a wonderful time there, and I used to snuggle down every night with Mr. Henderson, my geography teacher, and in the morning he'd say, "RC, this is just our little secret," and it always was. I kept it close to my heart, and still to this day I've got no idea why the police raided that place. But it's just going to be me and Sal tonight, and I love all my beans, and the result is beautiful coffee. Now, you can even tell the difference between a bag of beans that hasn't had any love and a bag of beans that has had some RC loving. So there you go, folks. An ordinary bag of coffee that's had no RC loving. And here is a bag of coffee that has had some RC loving. And can't you tell the difference?
I can't wait for you to roast me, RC.
So there you go, folks. We're at the end of the very first RC Barista coffee presentation, and we're going to be doing loads more in the coming weeks. RC Barista, the sexy Sydney coffee man based in Western-super-Mare, the Coffee House, 96 High Street. It's the best place to come. It's where we roast the coffee, we grind the coffee, we tap the coffee, and then we crank out the shots. We're cranking out the shots all day long. Come and see us at 96 The High Street. It's the place to be. Now, I'm going to play you out tonight with a Sister Sledge classic, with an RC Barista twist. We are family, but now it's going to be We All Love Coffee. Now prepare yourself. I spent 15 years studying at the Australian Institute of Music. I was there at the age of 5 years old, a bit of a prodigy, so this is going to be a hell of a performance. So I hope you're ready. See you next time, folks. Here we go. We all love coffee. Flat white cappuccino for me. We all love coffee. Come on, RC Barista. Roast! Yeah, baby! Let's go. We all love coffee. Espresso, flat white, cappuccino for